Storm in U.S. politics and around the world after the White House reignited a controversial bid to acquire Greenland. But Trump's wish list hit an unexpected roadblock from within his own ranks. Mike Johnson, considered to be Trump's right hand, swatted down the idea of acquiring Greenland. Speaking to reporters on Tuesday, the U.S. House Speaker called it an inappropriate idea. He also added that he has not had any recent conversations with the president about Greenland. Johnson said he had not seen White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt's statement and added that the Greenland issue didn't come up in conversations with Trump earlier Tuesday at the House GOP retreat. Just hours earlier, the White House doubled down, declaring that utilizing the U.S. military is always an option at the commander-in-chief's disposal. The White House statement said, and I quote,
"President Trump has made it well known that acquiring Greenland is a national security priority of the United States, and it's vital to deter our adversaries in the Arctic region. The president and his team are discussing a range of options to pursue this important foreign policy goal. And of course, utilizing the U.S. military is always an option at the commander-in-chief's disposal." Trump has been going ballistic over Greenland, even as a series of European leaders rejected his comments about seeking an American takeover of the world's largest island. Leavitt's comments followed the leaders of France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Spain, and the United Kingdom, joining Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen in issuing a statement reaffirming that the strategic mineral-rich Arctic island belongs to its people. Amid fear of Trump's push, Denmark is having sleepless nights. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen issued a chilling warning. Mette Frederiksen said any attempt to forcefully take control of a NATO ally's territory could spell the end of the alliance itself. Greenland is not a new obsession of Donald Trump. He first floated the idea in his first term. Trump reiterated his call after eschewing the Oval Office for the second time in January 2025. But now, after the January 3rd strike by the U.S. military in Venezuela, critics worry his ambitions are moving from rhetoric to reality, setting up a geopolitical clash with allies and testing the very foundations of international law. Trump has argued that the control of Greenland is necessary to ensure its security in the face of rising threats from China and Russia in the Arctic. Meanwhile, adding more fuel to the fire, Stephen Miller suggested the U.S. should go ahead with the Greenland push.
A storm of controversy has erupted after Stephen Miller, one of President Donald Trump's most powerful advisors, openly suggested that Greenland should be claimed by the United States. He implied that Washington would encounter little to no resistance if it moved to seize the Arctic territory, a provocative statement that has sent shockwaves across the globe. Nobody's going to fight the United States militarily over the future of Greenland. We live in a world, in the real world, Jake, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power. These are the iron laws of the world since the beginning of time. Miller's remarks marked one of the clearest articulations yet of an aggressive worldview gaining prominence within Trump's inner circle, one that places power, coercion, and national interest above international law or long-standing alliances. "We live in a world governed by strength and force," Miller told CNN, describing what he called the iron laws of global politics. His comments came as President Trump renewed calls for the United States to acquire Greenland, a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark and a fellow NATO partner. The comments immediately triggered alarm in Europe. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen urged Trump to stop the threats, warning that any attempt by the U.S. to annex Greenland would undermine the foundations of NATO, which is built on collective defense and respect for territorial sovereignty.
Firstly, I believe that the U.S. president should be taken seriously when he says that he wants Greenland, but I also want to make it clear that if the United States chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops. That is, including our NATO and thus the security that has been provided since the end of the Second World War.
But is there a small part of you that thinks that everything could end with this president?
I do everything I can for the opposite. I believe in democracy, and I believe in the international rules of the game. Of course, I also believe that you do not change borders by force, either in one way or another. It is not only the position of Denmark and the Danish realm. Fortunately, Europe has too, so I hope that people will also take note of the once again significant European support that we are receiving. I agree that it is important that there is security and peace and security in the Arctic region. That is one of the reasons why we are in NATO. Greenland is also a member of NATO. It is a shared responsibility of the Arctic states, including the Kingdom, to ensure that there is security, peace, and freedom in the Arctic region. But Denmark has always been a good ally of the United States. We want to continue to be so. But I also have to address that some of what is being said from the American side, and of course we will not accept a situation where we and Greenland are threatened in this way.
Under NATO's charter, an attack on one member is treated as an attack on all, meaning U.S. military action against Danish territory would tear apart the alliance itself. European leaders moved quickly to back Denmark. In a joint statement, the leaders of the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Spain, and Denmark stressed that Greenland's future could only be decided by Greenland and Denmark. While reaffirming their shared commitment to Arctic security, the statement underscored that such goals must be pursued collectively by NATO allies and in line with the UN Charter's principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. Miller went further in the interview, questioning Denmark's authority over Greenland and asserting that it was the formal position of the U.S. government that the island should become American. He argued that U.S. control of Greenland was necessary to secure NATO and dominate the Arctic region, bluntly stating that the United States was the power of NATO. The rhetoric struck a familiar, chilling chord, recalling recent U.S. operations in Venezuela, where American forces executed a high-stakes raid to seize President Nicolás Maduro and his wife, whisking them to New York to face criminal charges. The echoes of that bold move reverberate ominously in discussions of Greenland. Following the operation, Trump declared that the United States would run Venezuela for an unspecified period. Miller reinforced that position, claiming that U.S. sanctions and an oil embargo effectively placed Venezuela's economy under American control. He said, "We set the terms and conditions, dismissing international norms as mere niceties."
Hi, Mr. President. Have you spoken with any of the U.S. service members who were injured during that operation in Venezuela?
Yes, we have calls into them. I want to speak. They're all in good shape.
Can you detail what watching that was like when all this played out in Venezuela and what Maduro was doing that moment?
Well, I
when
knew the
US
possible danger. I mean, it was a very dangerous operation. It was amazing that we had a few injured, but all are in good shape right now. But I knew there was great danger. You got off a helicopter. The helicopters were being shot at. They got on the ground. They were amazing talent and tremendous patriotism, bravery. The bravery was incredible. Let's say they got off the helicopter and the bullets were flying all over the place. As you know, one of the helicopters got hit pretty badly, but we got everything back. And nobody killed.
The next question is who's in charge of Venezuela right now? Have you spoken to the newly sworn-in president there, Rodriguez? And what are your thoughts on the entire situation? You said the U.S. would run Venezuela.
We're dealing with the people. We're dealing with the people that just got sworn in. And don't ask me who's in charge, because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
It means we're in charge.
Have you spoken with her?
We're in charge.
Have you spoken with her?
No, I haven't, but other people
Do you want to?
Yeah, at the right time I will.
The comments drew sharp criticism at home and abroad. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the Venezuela raid violated the UN Charter, while Senator Bernie Sanders described Miller's remarks as a textbook definition of imperialism. Trump has made it clear he wants Venezuela's oil, Sanders said on CNN, warning that the world appeared to be sliding back toward an era where powerful nations openly exploited weaker ones for resources. The Greenland controversy was further inflamed after Miller's wife, Katie Miller, posted an image on social media showing Greenland colored like the U.S. flag with the word "soon." The post resurfaced fears that Washington may seriously consider using force to secure the mineral-rich island, prized for its strategic Arctic location. Greenland, home to around 57,000 people, has enjoyed broad self-rule since 1979, though Denmark still controls defense and foreign policy. While many Greenlanders support eventual independence, opinion polls show overwhelming opposition to becoming part of the United States, adding another layer of tension to an already explosive geopolitical debate.